Welcome to Focus on Crestview, a program of Cox Communications and the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm Karen Hardell, owner of a Better Ledger Company and president this year of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce. And our breakfast sponsor this month and our very special guest is the David Fuller, the CEO of North Okaloosa Medical Center. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Karen. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
So, for everybody out there who hasn't seen you on the TV in the last 12 months, tell us what's new. Give us an update for what's at the hospital.
Well, I mean, in our line of business, there's always something exciting going on. One of the things that we look at our medical staff and constantly looking at ways to expand our programs and services, but at the same time, kind of looking back over some of our other programs and services and the opportunities that we have to improve them or further enhance our position within the market or do a better job of providing services in our community. That's really what it's all about as far as we're concerned.
Okay. So has the hospital been very busy? Have you seen a lot of growth?
Well, a pretty good bit of growth, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, we always want more. I mean, I suspect you have enough clients in your team?
No, I don't.
I didn't think so. No, you always want a little bit more, but at the same time, we're trying to be very vigilant in providing the kind of quality services, again, probably very similar to yours, so that you're always doing a good job and being responsible and being responsive to the community. One of the things I always kind of find a bit intriguing, people don't really think about, when you consider local economies and impact to local economies, they don't really oftentimes think of hospitals as being economic engines, so to speak. And I'm oftentimes amazed, and I think the general public is to be amazed, at the kind of economic impact that a hospital and a community can have. Just some little things. Our organization generates just shy of $85 million in net revenue. Those are new dollars coming into our community, dollars that we're getting from various payers for the services we provide, and those dollars churn through our economy. So depending on what formula of economic churn you happen to subscribe to, there's a significant impact just in the general state of the health of the economy in our community. The other things, and sometimes as a proprietary hospital, which means we're just like you are, we're organized for the purposes of returning a reasonable return to our shareholders. Right. They oftentimes don't think about, because we are a tax-paying citizen, just like every other business in our community is, and the kind of monies that we pump into our local economy, we pay over $500,000 a year just in property taxes.
Wow.
We provide over nearly $1.5 million in sales taxes that we generate for our community. But the one thing that we're probably one of the most proud about is we make ourselves available to all of our community. And while we understand that some people have various benefit plans, there are people in our community that don't have those kind of benefits, and we provide over several million dollars, probably somewhere on the order of about $7 to $8 million a year in charity care that we provide to people in our community that are indigent and couldn't otherwise be able to pay. And that's not speaking to the state apportioned indigent care tax that we pay, which is over $1.2 million. So there's a real economic engine there that people oftentimes don't think about. And I think that's just one more benefit our organization brings to a community like Crestview.
So there's real actual dollars that are invested in the community. But also, I know from a standpoint of economic development, to have, when you're recruiting employers into the area, to be able to say we have a wonderful quality hospital here with these practitioners is a big selling point. People want to live where they know their family is going to be taken care of.
Well, and it's funny you say that, Karen, because a few years ago I had a family member who was in the economic development side of things, and he was talking about, in talking to employers, what were the things that they always looked at. It's a well-trained, well-educated workforce, and a healthy population, along with a rock-solid educational system. So, I think I consider us to be one of those three pillars that's needed in order for our economy to grow in a normal kind of organic sort of way.
And thinking of our area in those three aspects, that's a lot of good news, because we do have all of those things going
Absolutely.
For us. And we need to be out there just tooting that horn. So I'm glad you're here sharing that with us today.
Well, and I think every one of the people that represents the various facets of that development engine understand that they also have to kind of work together to support the overall community's efforts. I mean, that's the reason why a year or so ago, when the Economic Development Council said, "Hey, will you help us out? Will you come down here and be a part?" I said, "Yeah, because it's part of who we are and part of what we're supposed to be doing. And if we're not doing that, well, we're not fulfilling our obligations."
Right. Well, we're going to go to a break now, but I want to hear more about what's going on at the hospital. And when we come back, I want to know what your plans are. What are the upcoming things for the hospital?
Absolutely.
Hoover Dam can hold over 9 trillion gallons of water. How? Its arch construction diverts pressure into its neighboring canyon walls. The same principle applies in business. You must find support from the right partners who can help make you stronger. Choose a partner who is able to support you in every way. Cox Business.
Now, come on. Come on! All right, I know, 2 seconds. Hang on, just stand still. Stand still, though. 1 second, I know. Just
He's done!
Okay, go, go, go! No. Boys, hang on, boys!
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to Focus on Crestview. I'm Karen Hardell, this year's president of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce. Before the break, we were getting an update on some of the things happening at the North Okaloosa Medical Center with my guest, CEO David Fuller. And as I promised, we want to talk about some of the new and exciting services and things going on. So what are the new services that you can tell us about?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, you know, like I said earlier, you know, you focus on the things that you do and try to make those things better. Mm-hmm. One of the things we've been spending a lot of time on lately is processes in the emergency department. Okay. You know, we know that people don't really want to come to the emergency room. I joke with my staff, as a matter of fact, as recently as this morning during orientation, nobody gets up in the morning and says, I think I'll go to the hospital today, or at least not routinely. Right. So we want that experience when they present in the emergency department, should they have an occasion, to be as seamless as possible. We've committed to our community, a limited amount of time, 30 minutes, that you're going to get seen by a qualified medical professional to disposition your care. If it's something that you just need immediate care and get to go home, maybe you can go home a little more quickly. If not, then we know we're deploying the resources that we need to tend to that need as quickly as possible. So that's been kind of exciting process of
so
making
30
that
minutes, 30 minutes from the door to the dock is what you said.
That's what we're saying.
Wow.
Well, you know, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, our society nowadays is about, fast. People come to you, I'm sure they say, can I have that yesterday?
Yes.
Well, the same thing is true with us.
Well, it depends. Now, if they owe money.
Yeah, no. They never want that. But no, I joke with our staff all the time that we're in a McDonald's mindset mentality. You know, everybody wants things really, really fast. And while fast is important, of course, also conscientious, competent, quality care is equally important. Right. But we do want to strip out as much as we can to make that process flow smoothly. You know, the average times that we're real proud of, our average total ED visit time is only about 2.5 hours. Now that sounds like a long time, but when you look at the national averages, the average is about 6 hours. You know, we're doing a pretty decent job, but we want to make that experience better. We want to commit to our patients that we're going to get in. We're not going to lollygag around. You know, we're going to get the job done. And if you get to go home, then we're going to let you go home. You know, some of the other things that we're looking at this past year, well, actually 2 years ago now, we introduced our STEMI program and our stroke programs, which are in direct response to needs of our community. You know, heart and vascular and stroke related and heart attack related issues are the #1 killers of people in our country. Our community is no different. Quite honestly, those of us who live and grew up and live in the Deep South, you know, we're so prone to have such healthy lifestyles.
Yes.
Because we all enjoy eating. You can look at me and tell me I've not pushed away too many times. But I mean, in order to be there to respond, not only from obviously there's an educational piece, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute or two, but being able to respond to those specific needs when they occur in a prompt fashion. This year, we're pursuing Joint Commission and chest pain certification for our ED, stroke center certification for our hospital as well. Again, it doesn't really change anything, but it's just a way to affirm to the public that, you know, we're not just some little hospital in Crestview, Florida, but we're working really hard to stay abreast of what are the current trends in treatment to make sure that patients get exactly what they need. And there's really no need to have to drive off to somewhere else when you got that kind of quality service.
Absolutely. So if you're here living in the area and you're taking care of an aging parent and they have signs of a stroke or a heart attack, then go right to North Okaloosa Medical Center.
Absolutely, and of course I got to say this to my EMS friends, don't put them in the car and drive them to the emergency room. Call 911, let those folks who are trained, experienced professionals, because they can be there quicker than you could get to the emergency room. I don't care how.
Quicker and safer.
Yeah, exactly, I don't care how many times you think I can get them there quicker, you really can't. And to get the emergency personnel on site, begin treatment immediately. That's one of the really neat things about our STEMI program, and that's ST elevated MI or myocardial
Okay.
infarct, is when we're in contact with EMS, and Okaloosa EMS has become an integral part of our system. And they notify us of what they see, what's going on the scene. We immediately initiate our programs and have personnel ready so that we can have some of the shortest door to intervention times as possible. Because, you know, the quicker we can get those vessels open, the greater chances the patient has of recovery and full recovery. Same thing applies to the stroke program. So, so we're really excited about moving those programs along, continuing to advance them. And we think these are certifications are a part of affirming to the public, hey, we know what we're doing.
Right, absolutely.
We've got an enhanced focus also that we're trying to do just in the overall customer service experience throughout our hospital. We're trying to create these always satisfying kind of experiences for people. I mean, we know we're going to make mistakes from time to time, just like anyone else, but we want to do right by them. We want to make things right when the experience hasn't been exactly like what a customer really expects.
Okay. So what about new physicians? You have some new this year? And
yeah, you make a good point there, Karen. You know, a hospital isn't a whole lot without good doctors working for you and or with you. This year we're adding actually a couple, well, we've added a couple and we're bringing a couple more on.
Okay.
Last year we expanded our orthopedic coverage with Dr. Godleski, who joined us, which was after a period of time of really not having comprehensive orthopedic care because people leaving the market, and we've had, had some things happen there. But we've got new players now, and Dr. Godleski is doing a great job for us. We've got some other new players coming this year, and Dr. Hazen, Brent Hazen, is going to be joining our hospitalist program. That's kind of a new phenomenon that people have probably come in contact with if they've been in the hospital recently. Don't have a primary care physician, who's going to care for you? Well, our hospitalists provide that coverage to those patients so they can be dispositioned properly.
so the hospitalist sees the patients in the hospital.
That's correct.
That's where they are all the time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, a lot of physicians nowadays are moving toward, you know, either an outpatient type practice or an inpatient type practice, but very few of them anymore are like the doctors that we grew up with, or at least I grew up with, where they would see you in the clinic, and if you got sick, ended up in the hospital. Hospitalists are unique specialists that do nothing but inpatient care, and they know how to best, you know, put the pieces together to get you in and out as promptly as possible. But we're excited about expanding that. We've had two really rock-solid physicians in Lee Thigpen, a longtime Crestview guy, and Stephen Daunchy, who's a big supporter of our hospital for years. They've done a great job for us, but we really need more capacity. Dr. Hazen's going to be able to provide us with more capacity to be able to respond more quickly to all of our patients. In addition to that, we've got another OBGYN coming later in the year in August. Actually, a hometown boy coming home.
Oh.
Kevin McIntosh, who's originally from Crestview, graduated from Crestview High.
Wow.
Went off and went to medical school, and now he's coming back as an obstetrician, gynecologist, and we're really excited about having him come home. And then we've also got Tiffany Kruger, and Tiffany's going to be an exciting addition because Tiffany is an ophthalmologist, and you think, well, okay, well, we got ophthalmology coverage in the area, but Tiffany brings a unique skill set in that she's a pediatric ophthalmologist.
Oh.
So she'll be able to practice both adult and child ophthalmology, and she will actually be one of the few pediatric ophthalmologists from Pensacola. Matter of fact, I think she'll indeed be the only pediatric ophthalmologist between Pensacola and Tallahassee. So we're really excited about that as well.
All right. So you mentioned pediatrics and orthopedics, and I think during the break you might have mentioned something about the emergency room. Don't you have that covered as well?
Yes.
In the emergency room?
Absolutely.
And that's something that a lot of people don't realize.
Absolutely. You know, we staff our emergency department 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with board certified and trained physicians, and then our medical staff provides support to the ED so that if they have a child that comes in, they can reach out, talk to the pediatrician, and if needed, pediatrician comes in, helps take care of the patient. And disposition, whether that need to be admitted to the hospital or discharged for outpatient follow-up.
Well, David, it's really good to know that our hospital is doing such a great job and continuing to look for ways to improve the services that are offered here in town. I want to hear about some of the recognition that the hospital has received for what you have accomplished.
That's a good point. Well, you know, we're always proud. You know, we like to toot our horn, but we appreciate it when other people toot our horn for us. This past year, we went through an annual triennial survey with the Joint Commission. It's kind of the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. It's the national accrediting body. We had an excellent survey with just a few minor things that we had to address, so that makes us feel good that we have guests that we invite in and they look over it's kind of like having an internal audit come in to your process. You can appreciate that. And we had a really good survey. This last year also, there's a group nationally called the Leapfrog Group. Leapfrog Group is a safety organization that looks at how good a job hospitals do at keeping their patients safe. It's sometimes, and I won't get off into the statistics of it, but oftentimes things occur inside of a hospital that jeopardizes a patient's safety. This past year we were given a grade A, which is the highest you can get on keeping patients safe.
Okay.
And so we're real proud of that as well. And I guess I shouldn't say last but not least, we had the occasion during Northwest Florida Daily News is recently a recent survey, or I guess you might say voting, and we're identified as the finest hospital on the Emerald Coast, and we're real proud of that fact. We happen to be, we're not, we're up in Crestview, and when we went down to the celebration, somebody said, "Where's your hospital located?" And I said, "Well, you're going to have to visit the finest. You got to come to Crestview."
That's right.
And we're real proud of that fact, and work hard every day to earn that kind of trust from our community. That's, it's nice to get the Joint Commission. It's nice to get, this large national group saying you keep patients safe. But when you have your customers saying we pick you over others, that's heartwarming.
That's really the end game. That's really what
Absolutely.
you're looking for, because they're at the end, they're the ones who matter.
Absolutely.
They know whether you took care of them or their family member well, and so it's good to get all this information out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate the fact. Again, I said earlier, we make mistakes and we do things not as well as we could on occasion, but I think you'll be hard pressed to find an organization that's trying any harder to make that right. Some days you think, or do we do anything right? But we are committed to righting the wrongs when that's occurred, but more importantly, correcting the system so that we can always keep our patients safe and give them one of those always satisfying sort of experience.
It's one of those continual improvement type
Absolutely.
of processes.
I joke all the time with our staff, if the day comes and we stick our thumbs in our armpits and say we've arrived, we better duck because we probably missed something pretty important that's going to be, not a good thing.
Right. Well, we've got just a few minutes left, and I think that there's some kind of special program, some kind of special charity that you're involved with.
Absolutely. A part of our efforts to not just be responsive to community needs when they have a health crisis, but to get involved in what can we do to help improve the health status of our community. This last year, I agreed to serve as the chairman for the Heart Walk, American Heart Association's Heart Walk, and did that as part of our community educational activities. And we've had a lot of really nice involvement from not just, obviously it's an Okaloosa and Walton County event, and we're really excited about being able, that entire area, because we don't just treat Crestview, we treat the entire northern part of the county and
Right.
over into Walton County. So to be a part of that activity to help encourage healthy lifestyles, that's what we're really all about.
Okay. And if someone wants to get involved in that, is there a quick, easy way? Can they just contact the hospital? Or?
They can contact us, or they can actually, the American Heart Association has a website and I know you're going to ask me for the web address, and I have to confess to you, I do not have it on the top of my.
Well, we'll get it, and it will be, by the time the viewers are watching this, it will be on their screen.
But you can reach out, and you can actually even register to participate in that as
Okay.
well on that website.
Well, very good. And David, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, taking
thank
your
you,
time
Karen.
out. I know you're busy running a wonderful hospital that we do value up here in the north end of the county, the mid-county area.
There you go.
And thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Karen.
All right.
Pleasure being here.
And when we come back, Dennis Mitchell will join us, and we'll learn all about what's going on in the Crestview community, what new events are coming up with the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce, so you'll want to stay tuned.
At Cox Media, we're committed to creating local demand for your business through the most engaging advertising solutions available. Utilizing Cox Media's promotional, research, and production services, we'll develop a customized marketing plan that fits your budget, giving you a clear snapshot of who your customers are and how to reach them. Contact us today and start capturing the attention of your customers wherever they live, work, shop, and play. Cox Media, your customers delivered.
Packers.
Viking.
Red State, Blue State.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
But when we live united, we create real lasting change in the education, income, and health of our country. Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Welcome back to Focus on Crestview. I am Karen the Great, Queen of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce for one more month, and with me is the Grand Poobah, incoming President-elect Dennis Mitchell, and we're going to talk about, if we can, all the things, exciting things that are going on in Crestview.
Well, we have a whole bunch of them going on. And yes, we're all dressed up in Mardi Gras colors, and you might think that it's 6 months late, but for Crestview, we're 6 months early.
That's right.
We'll talk about what's going on with the Mardi Gras up there in Crestview later on.
Okay, so everybody needs to stay tuned so they can find out.
Stay tuned. It will be fun, I promise you. Oh, we did have a whole lot of things going on in the month past here. First of all, we had several new members. I'd like to make sure we mention those. Chill Yogurt Cafe, Joe Ballrich. Beth Ann Adams, a longtime supporter of the Chamber. The Red 8 Creative, James Allen. Temple Fitness, Asia Schroeder. And by no coincidence, New York Life has joined us with Corey Schroeder. And a Century Insurance, Doug Pike. He and his guys are up there becoming part of the Chamber now. We have several of our committee meetings coming up as always. June the 4th will be Health and Wellness Committee. Arts and Culture Committee with Ray Schwartz will be meeting at Java on June the 10th. June the 11th, Derek Lott from CCB will take the MAC committee over to the Coach and Force Steakhouse. The Government Issues Committee meeting will be on June the 12th. That's a Wednesday. It's Munsell Mitchell with Chesser and Barr, and the topic is going to be on flood insurance. Got some really interesting stuff coming up there. There's an after hours hosted by our friends Nathan and Crystal Boyles over at the Yellow River Winery and Bar on Main Street. A fun place to go and a fun place to have a nice evening. And the Ambassadors Committee meeting, Mary McBride will be meeting over at Journey Java. We'll get that straight in a minute. Once again,
Journey Java Connection on Main Street.
There you go, on 26. So Main Street's got a lot of things going on. We had some really fun ribbon cuttings this last time. I think you were out of town, but we had the Emerald Coast chapter of the Association of the United States Army. We had over at the helicopter park there at the airport. Had a nice ribbon cutting with those folks. Went by the USO for a while and enjoyed some coffee and good chat. And Positively Scrumptious. If you have a pet, April Meyer on Main Street, you've got to go in there and see it. They have got the most fun stuff for your pets.
And I think you can bring your pet with you when you go there. So.
Yes, absolutely.
They might even have Mardi Gras costumes for your pets.
They might.
Just saying.
They might. My dogs all have Mardi Gras costumes. Okay?
I bet they do.
Soraball, a Korean barbecue and sushi restaurant. Jenny Batson knows what she's doing at the ribbon cutting. We had some fantastic food. It was great. The View, Charlotte Collins, a real interesting entertainment venue out there. She says it's for adults. I say it's for grown-ups. It's really a fun place. Go stop by and check it out. So we have a lot of things happening as always.
Yes.
The big ticket coming up. The big ticket coming up is our Mardi Gras extravaganza we're going to have for our annual dinner, the awards banquet. And the bylaws do require us to have this ceremony every year for the changing of the officers.
That's right.
But nothing in the bylaws says we can't have a heck of a good party in the process.
All right. So we're going to have a big party to. So that I can hand over the reins.
That's right. Your crown can become my crown.
We'll see.
We are going to have fun. It is July 13th, and we are going to have some great food there. Mary Richard is going to be in charge of all the different kinds of foods. There'll be all South Louisiana Cajun-themed foods. We'll have desserts par excellence, including Bananas Foster Flambe.
Yes.
Okay. We will have heavy hors d'oeuvres as well. The folks that are helping us put this all together, we have 18 sponsors at this point. Yes, it's great. Chester and Barr is our event sponsor. We're very appreciative of those guys.
Well, they've done a lot for the Chamber this year.
They have done a lot for the Chamber, and their folks do a lot for the Chamber. We also have Waste Management as a corporate sponsor. Lynn Yort's our friend that been out there doing
the Queen of Trash.
Queen of Trash.
This is a lower level queen from the Queen of the Chamber. Just saying.
We have several food sponsors, including A Better Ledger with Karen Hardell. Thank you very much. Cox Communication, the folks who are putting on this fine show. Sunshine Era, our friends Bob and Donna Keller. Grand Elegance, which is Mary Richard, is actually our dessert sponsor. That is good news.
Yes.
And Phyllis Enzor from Enzor Management is our hors d'oeuvre sponsors. The award sponsors are our friend Derek Lott from CCB Bank. And we have several of the reserve tables, including Car Riggs and Ingram from their Crestview office, Destin Cobb. Hub City Ford, all of the DAGs and all the things that they do for the community. Charlotte Collins, again, from The View, one of our sponsors. Coastal Bank and all of our friends. We have lots of friends at Coastal Bank.
Yes.
Okaloosa Gas, the good folks out there are supporting us once again this year. Air Care, the Gaillard family, Niceville and Crestview for the heating and air conditioning. Alan Bell with Legacy Insurance and all his good folks there, and Fred Astaire, David and Erica Colon, and they always have a hopping place, and they're going to be helping us hop up the Mardi Gras with some dancing.
Well, very good. Whenever they show up, it's always fun.
Always a party. Okaloosa Title and Abstract, our very dear friend Marion McBride, and we had a nice donation from the folks from the Air and Waste Management Association. So we are going to have seriously good food. I mean, seriously good food. We will have champagne. We will have wine. We will have...
I think Yellow River Vineyards actually donated some wine, isn't that right?
Yellow River Vineyards has donated a case of their fine wine. I hope it's the Beau Blue. I haven't seen it yet, but that's my favorite from there.
Yeah.
But we will have great food, great entertainment.
So who's the band this year?
Well, who's the band this year? Do we know who the band is? The band is the
Upbeat... The
Downbeat Jazz Orchestra is going to be
Orchestra.
there. They're going to be tuned to a slightly South Louisiana sort of Cajun
If
flair.
you were able to come to the annual dinner last year, then you were able to hear Dick Reinley and the Downbeat Jazz Orchestra. They are amazing.
They were very popular. It's the reason we got them back again this year. They're going to do a little change of genre, but these guys are extremely talented. If you've not heard them before, they are worth going to hear every time they play. In fact, we'll have a little special ensemble as you come in the door. We going on. So we're going to have lots of fun, lots of decorations. It's a big night. Please invite your friends and come. We are going to have a lot of fun. It is something we look forward to. We're making a little spoof of the Mardi Gras thing, but we'll have the Mardi Gras food, the Mardi Gras music, the Mardi Gras colors. It will be fun.
Well, I think that's the key word this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. And in case anyone misses it, it's let the good times roll, and that's your theme for the coming year. So
really,
very good. And so tickets.
Tickets are $40, and you can get them at the Chamber, or you can get them at our breakfast if you happen to be at the breakfast this month.
Just go online at crestviewchamber.com.
Go online. You can pick them up there. Ask any chamber member, any chamber board member. They'll be able to direct you. So we only have room for 240 people to seat, and the tickets are going fast. So get them soon. Get it on your calendar.
That's right. All right. Well, we're looking forward to it, and you could come and find out whether Dennis is able to pry this crown out of my cold, dead hands. Actually, we are looking forward to next year. It's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you for watching. This has been Focus on Crestview, a production of Cox Communications and the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce.